We're days away from the biggest event in sports entertainment. WrestleMania 23 will take place right downtown at Ford Field, and joining us today on Sports Radio 1130 WDFN is WWE superstar and ECW original Rob Van Dam. Rob, thanks a lot for taking the time with us today.
Absolutely. I'm back home in Michigan. Thanks for having me here to spread the word.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, as a native of Battle Creek, can you tell us how you're feeling going into such a huge event in your own home state?
Well, it's an honor, and it's a great way to come around for full circle, so to say, because grew up in Battle Creek, Michigan. In 1989, the same year that I graduated high school, I went to the original Sheik in Lansing, and I tried to get him to accept me to train me, which he did. And now many years later, not only did I make it as a wrestler, I made it to the very top. And here I am at Wrestlemania representing all of my dreams and hopefully standing for something for everybody that, I want everyone to know they can follow their dreams. They can do what they want. I've proved it. And now I'm at Wrestlemania, not only at the biggest event ever with pro wrestling, but at the Hall of Fame, I'll also be inducting, along with Sabu, the Sheik, the original Sheik, into the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Now we heard tickets were just made available. I mean, the Hall of Fame's a huge ticket. We heard tickets were just made available for the Hall of Fame, so people can still get their ticket and attend.
Yes, and this will be my third or fourth one I've gone to, so it's a great night. It's very personal, and it's something where you get to see a different side of the wrestlers. They're up on stage talking with other wrestlers, about other wrestlers, telling stories, and the fans that are in the crowd sitting, right behind the wrestlers actually get to feel like they're all part of an inside peek, of beyond the ring. It's really it's personable, and it's something that we all hold in high regards as an honor. There'll be a lot of emotion poured out, and it's honest and genuine.
Yeah. Speaking of the Sheik, he's going to be inducted. Can I ask you what would be his reaction to be, if he was still around? What would be his reaction to being inducted?
Well, I'm a little afraid that we would have to explain to him, that this is what is wrestling now, because back in the day there was a lot more. It was territorial, and the original Sheik was, of course, very well known in Detroit for selling out the Cobo Arena when he would wrestle Bobo Brazil. And he would go to the different territories because he was legendary, and they would be excited to see him come in there. And now that WWE has taken over the entire world, now if you're at the top and you're a pro wrestler, that means that you are WWE. And he was always such a rebel that I'm sure there'd be part of him that would fight even being attached, just like Sabu. We had to explain to him, no, this is like the greatest honor, because it's not just inducting like old WWE superstars. It's about anybody who's been a major contributor to the entire industry and reaching out into all that is and was professional wrestling. So once the original Sheik grasped the concept, of how huge this is, I'd like to think that he'd be very honored, and hopefully he'd be proud of myself. And think that I'm worthy to help Sabu induct him. And he has passed. Please don't confuse him, anybody, with the Iron Sheik, who's much younger and is still alive. And the original Sheik's wife, Joyce, would be there to accept.
Well, that's terrific. WrestleMania 23 on Sunday. We're joined by Rob Van Dam, and over 70,000 people at Ford Field. Rob, when you first came to WWE about, 6 years ago or so, did it take you long to adjust to the bigger crowds, or once you're in the ring, do you kind of block that out?
Well, it's not so much of blocking it out. I actually feed off of the energy. So the bigger crowds, the more energy for me. In fact, I started way back in the day. I remember even wrestling at a small venue here in Detroit in 1990 called the Azteca Hall. Mm-hmm. And there might have been maybe 150 people there or so. That's an important part of getting where I'm at, climbing up the ladder, paying your dues. And it's a part that's missed by a lot of today's superstars that go straight from a wrestling school right onto TV, because things have changed now. But the traditional way of coming up that way builds us a strong fortitude and a structure, that we can rely on underneath us. So where I'm at now, I hope not to go backwards, and to wrestling those small crowds again. I always look forward to the arena is packed with thousands and thousands of fans screaming. Every time I get in the ring, I search, I scan, I look for the RVD signs, the t-shirts representing me. I take that very personally because of everything I've contributed and all of my hard work. I feel like that's rewarding to feel and see the fans appreciate me personally. So 70,000 fans, I'm expecting all of them to be screaming RVD.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be. ECW has made an amazing comeback in the past few years with the One Night Stand pay-per-views, the weekly show on Sci-Fi, and the huge DVD sales. You're credited with being the one who kind of presented the idea, the premise for the first One Night Stand. Do you have any idea that the company would get behind it the way they did and just shoot it into one of their main brands?
I actually had no idea and didn't realize that as a possibility, because I knew that what ECW stood for, you had to be almost a part of it back in the day in order to truly represent that. So what One Night Stand was all about was giving us one night to represent the way that we used to, the way that we like to be seen, ECW, which meant anything goes. Now they've brought it back, and it's a new ECW. And I have to say that we're bringing all these new wrestlers in that not only didn't understand how it was back then, but have actually changed the face of what ECW stands for now. Myself, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, Sandman, we're the originals. It was our sweat, our blood that changed wrestling through the old ECW days. And because of that, we feel very strong that our fan base wants to see that Extreme Rules. They want to see us going out there and they want to see the tougher guy win, because we take so much abuse. That's what it's about to us. This new breed, they represent the new ECW. I helped put the E in ECW. I made it Extreme. Now it seems that they've taken it out. This is going to be a very personal vendetta for us, and we want to come out on top because of what we stand for. I'm glad ECW is back, but just like all the fans listening, I miss the old ECW.
That's right. Now you'll be part of the ECW Originals team that'll take on the New Breed. What's your take on the New Breed team that you'll be facing? How do you
young,
feel about them?
You know, they're young. They're punks. They're new. You know, they haven't been around long, and right now they're looking at this like it's a good chance for them, you know, to show what they've got and to be part of something that's hot now, this new ECW. What they don't understand is we don't appreciate what they've done to ECW. We don't appreciate them representing, going out there saying, yeah, we're ECW, because back in the day, say back in 1997, when I was having the stretcher matches with Sabu, where someone had to be carried out on a stretcher all the way to the dressing room in order for the other guy to win. Back in the day, the New Breed, they were watching us when they were watching us on television, dreaming of being us someday. So right now, for them to step up and think that they're ready to take over, they're going to find that we have a lesson to teach them, and we're going into this with full intentions of kicking butt and doing it for the old ECW style.